Well, today, I'm not sure if I have any videos on cherry eyes, but we thought I'd show you this. This is a cherry eye. It's a gland of the eye that's sticks out farther than it should. This guy's wiggly. You can actually, if you're at home and your dog has such a thing, you can rub it like that. Sometimes if you put enough pressure on it and rub it, it'll sometimes go down. These aren't critical, but they're definitely an eyesore. Get it? Eyesore. Yeah. Sometimes a little cortisone ointment or benadryl will help. Not cortisone ointment you get from the drugstore, but a veterinarian can give you a cortisone ointment. Sometimes if you put it in a couple times a day for 3 or 4 days, it'll go down. Sometimes benadryl will help. Benadryl in dogs is about 1 milligram per pound, so this little one would only get probably 5 or so milligrams. So here's that big old gland. But see, this is the third eyelid, and the gland should fit down in that third eyelid, and it's not. It's way up at the top. So this eyelid is meant to wash the eye when the eye gets dirty, and you can tell it's a third eyelid, it's a cherry eye and not just red conjunctiva or red membranes, because see, these membranes don't look like a big old bump. So the thing you want to do with these is you have to put some sutures in so that these aren't sutures to actually do the surgery. These are sutures that would just hold the eyelid out so I can do my work. So I can pull the eyelid out, and you'll see in a minute why I do this, but it's kind of like nice to just keep the eyelid out exposed. So I'm going to put one on that side and one on the other side. So, and then I'm going to put one on this side. Hold things in place. So you can see it kind of pulls things out for me. So now I'm going to cut the surface of the gland, the skin, close to the gland, but you want to keep the gland out because the gland's important in providing some tear functions. I'm cutting around the gland where it's attached. See the skin there? I'm just loosening it all up, but the gland's attached, and as long as you keep that skin attached down there toward the gland's attached to, and then it can be tucked into the incision I just made. It's kind of got a pocket. I'm going to take the suture and I'm going to go right into the hole I cut, and I'm going to print it back out and tie it. That way the knot's out here and it won't bother the eye, because I feel like a couple of times I've had the knot really cause an ulcer, so I'm just going to leave the knot out where it won't do any harm on the third eyelid. So now that knot is in the eyelid, and I'm going to go up through the hole and then start sewing the lid together. So I'm sewing together the cut areas of the inside of the lid with very, very fine suture. You can see that skin that used to be over the membrane, and then that cut skin that used to be over the membrane, over the gland, I'm sorry. And just keep sewing it in a continuous pattern with absorbable suture. So the gland, once I start to sew up, as you can see, it can be pushed in and I can sew the membrane on top of it. So then as I get in there and I start to sew the little third eyelid back together, the gland is down in there now, so I just want to make sure it stays. It's red and irritated, but at least the gland, I poked the gland back in like I did several times, and you can see the tip of it right there. So we don't want that to come out. We want, see, I could pull it out like that, but I don't want to. I want it to stick back in. Might be hard for you guys to see, but I'm looking for the cut edge of that membrane of the eye, which is right there. And then also the edge of it up there near the edge of the gland. You can see that there's it really kind of just falls back down there. Once you sew that eyelid all together, the gland kind of goes back in that pocket where it's supposed to stay. And if we were to look on this side, when the animal blinks, the gland comes up to wash the dirt away. Now in this eye it may not do that as much because it's going to take some time to heal. But you can see it going up a little bit. And that gland is now right there, that swollen gland, underneath the skin where it should be. I'm pushing it, doesn't come up, so it should work all right. And the eye itself, I didn't scratch the eye, but the eye is swollen, so we're going to use some eye ointment in there for a few days to help it. Now you notice that those membranes are very red. That's called the conjunctivitis, just from trauma. The normal membranes are just light pink like this, but when they get red and inflamed, they can react like this. This can be due to allergies, so benadryl can sometimes help dogs with conjunctivitis. Sometimes it can be due to bacteria, and antibiotics may be needed. And so this is after surgery. We hope the eye continues to just look okay. So you can tell the eye is red and inflamed, but still it's back in its place. We hope it stays there, don't we? I wasn't very good at my explanation, but what I really meant to say is when you can rub on the outside of the eye and you can rub the gland and it may go back into place, or you can use benadryl at 1 milligram per pound twice to 3 times a day just to make it less irritated, so you can get to the veterinarian and they may prescribe ointment or do the surgery. And I also wasn't very good about my explanation that third eyelid has a gland in it that's responsible for the tear production. I cut around the surface of the membrane looking down at the gland, and then I cut that surface together and tucked the gland down in the third eyelid with sutures. And that's what you saw me doing, so I just wanted to explain that a little better. Well, I hope you enjoyed the cherry eye surgery. Actually, I told you I don't know if I did a video on that before. I guess I was just too lazy to check, but I thought this was kind of an interesting one. It poked way out and was a little bit harder to replace. I didn't show the end of the surgery because it was pretty technical and close quarters, and it was hard for me to show you what I did, but I basically just tied the suture together and poked it through the front of the eyelid and tied it in front of the gland like I do, so the knot won't affect the eyeball. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a chance, go to my website, Dog Dish Diet, and I have a couple books there that have written about dog nutrition. If your dog's itchy or scratchy and you want to know what to feed it or what oils to give it or what people food you can feed, I hope I have a lot of tips for you. I hope I have a lot of tips. I do have a lot of tips there for you. Have a great day.